And it's just this beautiful integration process of loving your journey completely and entirely, and being with yourself in those moments where your body's intelligence and life's intelligence are working through you, presenting you with a difficult, uncomfortable emotion or sensation that you feel in your body, because you're ready to move through something. You're ready to upgrade. You're ready to process something that's been stuck and stagnant in your system, to create more room for you to become more of yourself, more of who you truly are. And that's the wisdom of triggers. Hey beautiful, how are you feeling today? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rachel and I love to share my personal experiences in a way that can help you feel empowered in your own life. Today, I want to share about an experience that I had this morning, a little bit after I woke up as I was going into my morning ritual, and I started to notice this uncomfortable, agitated feeling inside of myself. And I want to share with you how I worked with that information, how I ended up processing an old wound in real time. And I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took to dissolve that and integrate the parts of myself that were arising in the moment, wanting to be seen and felt by me, so that I could go on with my day and feel clear and connected and lighter. So I want to start this video by saying that I am not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, this is not medical advice. I'm simply sharing with you from my personal experience coping mechanisms that work for me in dealing with uncomfortable feelings or sensations or emotions, and help me just live a more peaceful, aware, grounded lifestyle. This morning started like any other morning. I felt really good when I first was waking up. I felt really cozy in my bed. I usually like to, I have a mirror on the side of my bed, and I'll kind of jump out of bed like I'm in a movie or something, and I'll just throw open my arms like, what magic and miracles does life have in store for me today? And just be like really silly and light and fun and playful. And I also go over to my window and I like open up the blinds and I look at the blue sky and I'm like, beautiful new day. And I know that this sounds so silly and goofy, but it just like really like gets me feeling excited for the day and just like gets my mind right. And I feel like, you know, it's how I like wake up on the right side of the bed. So after that, I started to move into my morning ritual where I get a nice big glass of water. Lately, I've been loving it with chia seeds. And then I sit down to do my morning pages, which are 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing. And this is just a mind dump to get everything onto the page. If you want to know more about this, leave a comment below. I would love to make a video all about morning pages. Morning pages have been a life-changing practice for me, and so I'd love to share with you all the benefits in another video. So let me know down below if you want to hear more about that. So as I sat down to start to write my morning pages, I noticed I felt very distracted. I felt very agitated, and I couldn't get comfortable in the chair. There was like a hair on my face that I couldn't locate. The corner of the desk was digging into my arm, and I just couldn't, I felt restless. And no matter what I did, I was trying to make myself feel more comfortable. I was like adjusting myself in the chair and putting a blanket under my arm so that the desk wouldn't dig into my arm. And it's just like nothing was really helping me feel more comfortable. And right immediately in that moment, I knew, I was like, okay, there's something here that I need to look at, because I've learned in my personal experience that when you're feeling uncomfortable like that, it's usually an indication that the intelligence of the body is bringing to the surface a layer of something unprocessed that's living within the body. It's bringing it to the surface so that it can be felt and acknowledged and processed and integrated. So having that awareness, I knew, okay, I'm gonna have to sit with this, even though I have all these other things I need to do today, as one does. And as I started to write, I felt the discomfort growing. So I decided to actually give that part of myself a voice. And as I'm writing, I'm like, I'm getting out of the way now. You have the floor. Like, what do you have to say? And suddenly my writing got all crazy. And I was just like, I feel trapped and I feel so uncomfortable in my skin and I can't, and all these things just started like word vomiting onto the page. And all at once, it felt like a relief and also still very uncomfortable. But I was just starting to give it a voice, allowing it to express all the thoughts and feelings that were happening. And at a certain point, I felt the tension building so much that in my mind's eye, I had a vision of myself just screaming at the top of my lungs. And I knew that that was my inner guidance directing me, that was what wanted to happen next. So I put the pen down and I proceeded to scream and shake my body really hard in my chair. Now, if you're not familiar with this shaking the body and screaming and using your voice and using your sound in order to move energy, these are both very powerful ways to move stuck energy in the body. So I did that and it felt very natural. That was like the very natural next step to take. That sort of subsided. I took a deep breath in. Full exhale. And I got back to the morning pages and I finished the 3 pages. Then what happened next let me know, okay, there's another layer here. I slammed the journal shut, slammed down the pen, and the energy felt very much like a childlike temper tantrum, where I may as well have been sitting in my chair with my arms crossed, like pouting, like, Like that's what it felt like in my system, to be experiencing whatever was coming up inside of myself. And so I'm like, okay, there's more to work with here. So I stood up from my chair, I went over to my bed, I grabbed a pillow, and without even having to think about it, I just started like shaking the pillow and beating the shit out of the pillow and like screaming and having like a full-blown childlike temper tantrum. Now, mind you, I'm not having any kind of mental or intellectual understanding of like what's happening. I'm just letting the raw, primal, animal nature of my body's wisdom and intelligence, like I'm getting out of my own way with my mind and allowing my body to do what it needs to do to move this energy, to release this energy. So after I did that, I felt another bit of tension had been relieved, but I was still feeling uncomfortable and unsettled. So usually I start my day with a tall glass of water infused with my prayers and intentions. Then I sit down at my desk and I write out 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing, a mind dump, if you will. And then I roll out my yoga mat and I do some deep stretches and yoga flow to get into my body. So I had finished the morning pages. I proceeded to have a temper tantrum on the bed, and then I got onto the mat to move into my deep stretching and yoga flow. Now, when I was finishing my yoga flow, I was standing on my mat. Usually I do a few sun salutations, and as I'm coming for my final prayer mudra, I just stand still on the mat and I say a prayer for the day. Thank you for another day of life on this beautiful planet Earth. filled with opportunities for me to learn and grow deeper into my path and purpose here. Show me what I'm ready to see. Take me where I'm ready to go. May I be a clear channel. Thank you for all of the blessings and challenges in my life. Thank you for my life exactly as it is in this moment. And as I was coming out of that prayer, I felt like a song wanted to come through me. And now for those of you who aren't familiar with me and my gift, one of my gifts in this lifetime, I am a singer, I'm a vocalist, and I also channel medicine songs. So in that moment, I felt a medicine song wanting to come through me. And so I just opened up and I channeled the sound. And it was this very beautiful moment of sound healing and a sound activation, which was then followed by some tapping. Who's familiar with EFT tapping? And I actually wasn't expecting that this was gonna be something that I did next, but I moved into it. I felt like there had been a big release of pent-up energy, that there had been a lot that was processed, that was being upgraded and integrated in my system. And for some reason, my body just knew that it was time to go into the EFT tapping to reprogram my body and my energetic system as well, to welcome and sustain these upgrades that I was experiencing. And as I came out of that, I started to cry. And in that moment, I knew what had been processed and integrated. It was yet another layer of pain and trauma from not loving myself unconditionally, unwaveringly. And I knew it was a layer of all of the times that I had spoken unkindly to myself and wanted to leave this body, coming up to be felt and processed by me. I'm getting emotional. And I got off the mat and I walked into the bathroom and I stood in front of the mirror, as I like to do, and I looked into my eyes and I told myself, I love you. I'm sorry. There's never anything that needs to be forgiven, and I'll talk more about that another time. But I proceeded to share these messages with myself. And this beautiful experience happened which is not uncommon for me, and this is a beautiful visualization that I would love to encourage you to try for yourself. But all at once, as I'm looking at my own reflection in the mirror, I am acting and speaking as my higher self through myself, seeing who I am today and holding all of the previous versions of myself. It's all of us, all rolled into one. I'm reparenting these parts of myself, that the wounded inner child part of myself, as my higher self. And it's just this beautiful integration process of loving your journey completely and entirely, and being with yourself in those moments where your body's intelligence and life's intelligence are working through you, presenting you with a difficult, uncomfortable emotion or sensation that you feel in your body, because you're ready to move through something. You're ready to upgrade. You're ready to process something that's been stuck and stagnant in your system, to create more room for you to become more of yourself, more of who you truly are. And that's the wisdom of triggers. That's the wisdom of our bodies, allowing us to feel uncomfortable feelings of agitation or annoyance or anger or sadness in a moment, that when you can actually stop what you're doing and be with that and be with that part of you that's arising instead of pushing it away or acting like you don't have time for it. Oh, I'm too busy. I have too much to do right now. I'm going to be late for work. I don't have time for this, right? Instead of doing that, which is a common way to approach feelings like that when they arise, you actually go, you know what? Okay, this is happening right now. Let me take a moment, as much time as I can, and be with this. Be with this part of myself. This is how we build trust within ourselves. This is how we reparent our wounded inner child. And this is how we create an environment within our bodies, within our life, that feels really stable and grounded and peaceful and connected. So let me walk you through again the process. I felt uncomfortable. I felt irritated. I felt restless. Instead of pushing through that, I paused. I noticed what I was feeling. And then I allowed that part of myself to speak. So I was writing it out, but you could also speak it out loud. You could also speak it into your voice memos app on your phone. But like giving that part of yourself a voice, allowing it to say whatever it wants to say with no, just completely unfiltered. It's just for you. Get it all out. If the body feels like it wants to scream, you grab a pillow and you scream into that pillow. If the body feels like it wants to shake, you shake out that body. You scream and you shake out that body. Or maybe you want to dance, right? Maybe you want to just stretch your body. Listen, your body is giving you the next steps to take. And then do that. And then the third piece is to get back into a state of regulation, to regulate your nervous system and signal safety in the body. So we can do that through yoga, through deep stretching, through deep breathing. I very much recommend ocean breath. Ocean breath is a style of breathing that I like to use to activate my parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our nervous system that signals safety in the body. And ocean breath is, you can imagine when you're fogging up a pair of glasses so that you can clean them. It's a little bit of constriction in the throat. So you want to hear your breath. You're inhaling through the nose. And while I'm breathing like that, I drop the shoulders, I soften my belly, relax the jaw, and I'm just melting and softening and taking my time with this breath. This is a beautiful way to get back into a state of regulation. And you may very well find that after you come out of that, after you have noticed what you're feeling, given it a voice and stayed with it patiently, and then gotten yourself back into a state of regulation, you will find that you feel lighter, that you feel like something has shifted inside of you. And that's because you took the time to be with yourself. And then this is when you celebrate yourself. This is when you get really excited and you're like, yes, I did it. Like, oh, I took excellent care of myself. I I didn't repress what I was feeling. I didn't give up on myself. I didn't push it away. I didn't run away. I didn't make this part of myself unimportant, right? I actually welcomed more of myself to be held by me in my loving embrace. And this is what builds power, personal empowerment. This is what builds strength. This is what builds courage. This is what builds a state of inner peace. Because you know you're teaching yourself, you're teaching your body, you're teaching your mind that no matter what happens, whether you're alone or you're with someone else and you feel triggered, that you're not going to abandon yourself, and that you are willing to use the tools that I've just shared with you to learn how to self-soothe yourself and reparent yourself. This is a beautiful skill and set of tools to use to create a beautiful life for yourself. And I promise you that even in the moment when it feels uncomfortable and you feel like you maybe don't want to face what's coming up inside of you, or like you don't have time, I promise you, if you make time for it, you will notice the difference in your state of being almost immediately. And the more that you do this, the better it will get. The easier it will be for you to drop into this state of, okay, I'm gonna reparent myself through this discomfort right now. It becomes a no-brainer for you. It becomes your new default setting. And that's very exciting, because at the end of the day, we're here to enjoy life. And yes, like, be happy, be joyful, be excited, and bring that positivity, and be aware of what kind of outlook and perspective you have on your life. And also at the same time, don't be attached to that. Don't be so attached to having a positive outlook all the time that in moments when you're feeling uncomfortable and there's something that wants to move through you and be processed by you, that you push that away and you bypass that and you make that wrong. Because let me tell you something, it's not wrong. Anger, sadness, fear, discomfort, these are all natural human emotions, and they're 100% valid, and they are 100% welcome. And the more that you push them away, the more that they grow. And the way that you stop them from growing is that you face them and you love yourself through them, and you be patient with yourself as you move through them. And that's it. So it is my deepest prayer that you received something valuable from this video today. If you did, please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from you. I'm so excited about the recent growth of my channel. Welcome to all my new friends and community and soul family. I love connecting with you all in the comments and tuning into your energy and just like co-creating this beautiful space where we can all see each other and recognize each other and uplift and encourage and empower one another. So if you're new, welcome to the community. Please introduce yourself down below. And if you have any questions, also feel free to leave those in the comment below. I do read all the comments and I do respond to them in a non-generic way. I tune in and I share from my heart. So please, I encourage you to reach out there. And I look forward to getting to know you better and seeing you in the next video. Okay, lots of love. And I'll just throw open my arms like, what magic and miracles does life have in store for me today?